producer. I can never get those straight. Um, are there announcements that need to be made? Okay, how about joys and concerns to share?
Well, I have a concern. There's in West Newton. There's a new little shop that has opened, and they have lots of goody good kind of food and so on. And they have nice fresh eggs, which I go and I purchase eggs there. And I've gotten acquainted with the sisters who are the owners and managers of the little shop. And one of the sisters that I talked to the other day has had a serious accident. She and her granddaughter were hiking, and she fell, was taking a picture, and fell off of an edge and fell 8 feet down and landed on a slab. And I saw a picture of her face, and her eye was totally black. And she has a lot of broken bones, like a collarbone, an arm. Her feet had some broken bones in it. She has a broken leg. Please keep Charlotte in your prayers.
Wow. Yesterday, Wellesley Friends meeting had a retreat, which we haven't had for quite a while, maybe since before the pandemic. And we spent the day at Framingham Friends meeting, and I think they're going to come and have a retreat at our meeting house. And their meeting, the room where they have meeting for worship is they're on the side of a little hill, and you have to climb up stairs to get up there, and it's got trees all around it, and you feel like you're in a treehouse because you're up in the middle of the leaves. And it was very affirming to have a very concrete way to express community and be in each other's presence. We don't have a lot of people who come by Zoom, but we have some. And we had a member who came from British Columbia, who was a dear member of our community for many years and moved to British Columbia quite a while ago. And a friend and a member who came from New York City, whose mother had been a mainstay of our meeting and who has joined since her mother passed, and since she was able to attend remotely. So it was a joy to be in their presence.
And a little update with Charlotte, or an added on piece with her. Her husband has terminal cancer, and she was taking care of him. So now the whole family has pitched in to help both of them. So the whole family needs encouragement as well as Charlotte.
Nancy and I have a joy. Friday evening, we got to spend a couple hours with Jerry and Pam Stevens, and their favorite church is still West Newton Friends Meeting. And, but they gave us an update on Pam's mother, Margaret. She is 98 years old, and she's down at Miller's Mary Manor, and probably she doesn't get out of bed. So that's not a joy, but it was a joy to see Jerry and Pam. They ask about everybody.
Where do they live?
Uh, Cleveland,
Okay.
North Carolina.
Oh,
And travel a lot.
The girls, the twins, handle the business, and they just travel. They asked us to go to Portugal with them, and we kind of laughed.
Well, I have a concern. I have a recurrence of leukemia, but it's seems to be. I feel okay, but my blood says I'm not. So I hope it's short and sweet. And I'm joining you because I'm in the hospital, so I'm not at Tangier.
where in the hospital? Where are you?
Indianapolis at Franciscan Health, which is supposed to be one of the best leukemia places around. Steve can attest to that. And,
Yes, that's where Steve goes to, and he's had wonderful care.
yeah. But I feel fine, sometimes tired, but I'm very blessed, but would just as soon not have this recurrence.
Are you isolated?
Mildly so. It says it on the door. My son and daughter-in-law and granddaughter came last night, and we had a nice visit. And they had to have gloves and mask, but it's not like 8 years ago when I was in here. And then I was in for a month, and it may be just a little over a week right now. So I can do that.
Yeah.
Well, Laura is still not in very good shape, but she's on heavy medications for pain, super heavy. But this week, the radiation has helped some, so she is going in for a procedure which I can't pronounce, but they'll inject some sort of plastic cement into her spine where the vertebrae are broken to hopefully stabilize it and lower the pain. And that's on the 8th. So Donna and I will happen to be in Indianapolis those days for my own medical stuff with the doctors, just routine stuff. So we don't know if we'll be able to see her or not, because she's mostly sedated until they get this procedure done. So
You're welcome to stay here if you need a place for overnight or 2 or 3.
well, thanks.
A friend of mine had that procedure done 3 weeks ago, and she saw a great improvement.
Well, good. Pass that along. They need some encouragement. Their youngest son, is getting married November 15th, and she wants to be able to, of course, attend that. Well, much on our hearts and minds today.
Morning, Catherine.
Hi, Catherine. So we'll lift these to lift these to God in prayer and continue to hold these friends in light and love, in the healing light of Christ as we worship and go through this week. Norma's the worship leader today, so she will lead as she feels led.
Well, today I'm going to be focusing on a little bit of the history of the music at West Newton Friends Meeting as it developed over the years. And I want to start with thinking about the Psalms in the Bible because they are musical. They were, David spent time thinking about the Psalms, and I have just a few I want to share. And this is from Psalm 27:6. Then my head will be exalted above the enemies who surround me. At his tabernacle will I sacrifice with shouts of joy. I will sing and make music to the Lord. And from Psalm 95, come, let us sing for joy to the Lord. Let us shout aloud to the rock of our salvation. And from Psalm 98, shout for joy to the Lord, all the earth. Burst into jubilant song with music. Make music to the Lord with the harp and the sound of singing, with trumpets and the blast of the ram's horn. Shout for joy and sing before the Lord, the King. And perhaps the most famous one of all, maybe not the most famous, that's not perhaps the best word to use, but beloved among a lot of people, and that is the 23rd Psalm. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restoreth my soul. He leadeth me in the paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of mine enemies. Thou anointest my head with oil. My cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Now for our thoughts about music and the West Newton meeting for worship. My earliest recollection of music at West Newton, number one, sitting in the first pew as a little child, next to the old organ while watching Leland Mills' fingers move across the keys and his feet press the pedals. Leland was Sylvia Bean and David Mills' grandfather. And number two, listening to the West Newton Choir share music for worship on Sunday morning. I could hardly wait until I was old enough to sing with them. The vocal and instrumental music was led and promoted by Mary Elizabeth Cook Fields. We all knew her as Betty Fields. Let's step back in time to the early 1820s. That's when Quakers first came to this location. They settled here in West Newton, and after a couple of name changes, called this place West Newton. In the early church here, there was no music at that time. People thought that including music in worship service was not appropriate. In the early 1900s, sometimes a person in the congregation would be moved to sing a hymn. Eventually, other people then began to join in the singing. My great-grandfather, Alcana Barnett, was the leader in overcoming the objections of the few who were opposed to music. And in time, an organ was acquired for us in Sunday school. Sometime later, the organ was used in the worship services. The people who had opposed having the organ played during worship agreed to allow it because music helped make the service more meaningful for the younger members. I like this idea because this is an example of friends working together for the benefit of all. Now, back to the development of a wonderful musical congregation. When Betty Fields began worshiping at West Newton, there were some very good singers in the congregation. During the worship service, she heard great choral foundation singing from the Mills brothers, Lowell, Dave, Bob, and Glenn. Also, there was Walter Barnett, Russell Newsom, and later Sam McCain. Sopranos and altos included Emily Newman, Bess Newsom, and the Westerfield sisters, Margie, Gladys, Viola, Opal, and Phyllis. I hesitate to list singers because I do not want to omit anybody who should be included. But here goes. Jean Blaine, Sylvia Mills Bean, Patty Counts, Norma Barnett Gaston, Bruce Fields, Lynn Perry Mills, Sharon Fields Raymond, Marilyn Fields, Homer Dorrell, Dale Dorrell, Stan Bailey, Dale Graves, Tom Day, Marion Gaston, Andy Gaston, Matthew Gaston, Lloyd Blaine, Steve Miller. Some of the ones listed are more connected to the Easter sunrise service than maybe specifically to the regular worship services at West Newton. Singing and choral music became a very strong and uplifting part of the West Newton worship services. In the 1940s, our West Newton singers joined with singers from other local churches of many denominations to prepare music for the Easter service. This program developed into a costume pageant with choral and solo music, props, lighting, and a pageant that included a live donkey in a Palm Sunday entrance scene. This production was directed by Betty Fields and was held in the high school gym at 6:30 a.m. on Easter Sunday morning. Each year, there were at least 1,000 community people who came to celebrate our risen Lord. This program lasted for 50 years. Another time I can share more about it. Dave Mills, a member of our West Newton Friends meeting Zoom, he Zooms with us from Florida each Sunday. His dad, Dave Mills, also Sylvia Bean's father, and I made a recording in 1962. And here's a picture of the now CD, Favorite Songs by Dave and Norma. Our Dave has requested to hear his dad sing, I Walk Today Where Jesus Walked. I will now close my message with that song. And give me just a minute while I make sure we have it ready.
I walk today where Jesus walked in days of long ago. I wandered down each path he knew, with reverent step and slow. Those little lanes, they have not changed. A sweet peace fills the air. I walk today where Jesus walked, and felt his presence there. My pathway led to Bethlehem, the memories ever sweet, the little hills of Galilee that knew those childish feet. The Mount of Olivet seemed that Jesus knew before. I saw the mighty Jordan roll as in the days of yore. I knelt today where Jesus knelt, where all alone he prayed. The Garden of Gethsemane, my heart felt unafraid. I picked my heavy burden up, and with him by my side, I climbed the hill of Calvary. I climbed the hill of Calvary. I climbed the hill of Calvary, where on the cross he died. I walk today where Jesus walked, and felt him close to me.
I want to thank all of the rest of you for receiving what some of us hold really near and dear to our upbringing, in the music that we were able to learn and share and still hold in our heads and hearts. The best scripture I can recall is because I learned it in a song. And would turn around that and ask the rest of you to be able to at some point share what is there about your upbringing in your family or your place of worship that you cherish yet today. Maybe we'll put that on our list of questions. Thank you, Norma.
Yes, thank you, Norma. And
Thank you, Norma.
we will now continue with unprogrammed worship for those who can stay. And for those who can't, we will bid Godspeed and blessings on your week.
Thank you, Norma, for that fine job. Beautiful.
Thank you, Norma.
Thank you. Thank you, Norma.
If friends' hearts are clear, we can close meeting for worship.